You get it printed extra. You will start to Okay, we'll continue from where we left just now. So this is the last page before we went for a break, and then you had your group discussions. So you'll go from here. Now, I'm going to discuss with you about the basic steps in the research. Okay, so the step-by-step process. First one is select a topic, which I did request you that you have a topic. Well, basically the topic, you have certain criteria to look at the topic. I'll show you how you would want to select a topic, okay, based on certain criteria. Okay? Then after that, review the existing literature. So for you to review the literature as a beginner, I'll teach you some easy techniques, very easy techniques to get literatures. Don't need to go through tough time. Okay, easily getting literature. Then later part, once you're an expert, then you go through the difficult part to look at it. Okay. First, what is important is motivation to move forward. So we'll get you some easy techniques to go into that. Okay. So please take note. The easy way is to go to Google Scholar. I think some of you would have known Google Scholar. Okay, this is Google Scholar. You go to Google Scholar, you can, it's free for you, Google Scholar. You just key into Google, you put Google Scholar, that's it. Okay? So this is my page in Google Scholar. So once you become a researcher, you will have your own page. Okay, you will have your own page once you start to be a researcher. So this is my page. But basically, you can go to Google Scholar. You just key in Google Scholar, this one. Okay, Google Scholar, and then you key in what's your topic. For those of you who have your laptop with you, you may want to try now. Okay, go to Google Scholar, you type the word Google Scholar, and then from there you search your topic of your interest. If your topic is leadership, go leadership. If your topic is manufacturing, go manufacturing. And you can see these are papers there. Okay, so once you have the list of papers there, these are the list of papers. These, the blue colors are list of papers. So then you just go and click the paper, any one of those papers. Then you come to know about the paper, right? You come to know about the paper. So very easy from there. You know already this is a paper, okay? And what is the paper talking about? Is this your interest? If this is your interest, you go into detail of getting the paper. Okay, if this is not your interest, okay, then go and click another paper. So that's how, for you as a beginner, this is the most easiest way. Rather than going to Google and then you key in the paper, sometimes you get people who are unauthorized people putting in papers and so on. Google Scholar, the papers that you see is all authorized papers. Authorized, accepted paper. So no one will challenge you to take on Google Scholar. Has been published. Has been published. All published papers. You can easily cite them. Okay? And also you may have some difficulties. I don't know how to cite papers and so on, right? Very easy. In Google Scholar, you don't know how to cite papers. Very easy. You just go there, okay, to the papers. Okay, like for example, let's talk about what your topics are: motivation or leadership. Okay, leadership. Okay, assuming your topic is leadership, right? So you key in leadership, then you say leadership. I want to look at leadership skills. So there are a lot of papers in leadership skills, right? And you don't know, you are a beginner, you don't know how to cite a paper, citation, right? You go, you see the word here, cite. You see the word cite here? Cite. You just click that cite. It will teach you how to cite papers, references. So for us, in our university, we choose APA standards. Yeah? So we choose APA standard. Then you click the APA standard, that's it, copy and paste in your references. See that? So do you think it's illegal for you? Why is it so easy? During my time, I don't have all these people that are doing a PhD. No such thing in year 1999. No such thing. So I have to basically download papers, read papers, cite them manually, all the corrections. And now it's so easy. Citation also, reference also, they'll be given you the reference. So you should not make any mistake in your references. The way you reference paper, there should not be any mistake. It's already given to you. Yeah? And for us, our university, we use APA standards. These are all the standards for citation. These are all the standards: MLA, APA, Chicago, Harvard. But for us, we choose APA. Because APA is the one which is highly accepting papers in international journals, all using APA standards. So that's the reason why we go to APA. Because when we do, we don't want to go and change later on. Because different standards are different. We can see the way they cite the papers. They have different ways. See, like this one, Chicago, the year comes at the end. Whereas APA, the year comes here, just after the author. Right? So this is a standard, okay, which has been accepted in international journal. So today you do a PhD. Tomorrow you want to publish a paper in a journal. So this makes your life easy. So that's why we don't choose it. Harvard is okay, acceptable, but then Harvard, they go into writing the page number and all. So that's why we don't want to take Harvard. Okay? Normally, international journals, they will accept APA and Harvard. But comparatively, APA is better. So that's the reason why we go for APA. And some of MIT based, we are MIT based, so we follow MIT based. Okay? So it's a very easy way. So just now I did mention, if you have a laptop, please on your laptop and so on. I hope by tomorrow you all will get your laptop to the table. Okay? Because after this, when you're going to go into the problem statement, you need to have your laptop to do the search. I think Wi-Fi is available here. Yeah, Wi-Fi. So you can connect the Wi-Fi and get search the topic. So, as I said, morning I said that those who enroll into our program, now you're okay because we don't advertise you on publication. Later on, January onwards, we'll advertise very strongly. Why? Because we want you to go inside Google Scholar. We want your names to be also appearing there in the book. At the end of the day, that is the goal of a researcher, I mean a PhD. It's not PhD for the purpose of compiling your work and putting it in writing. The base. There are many PhD in university we find after finishing the PhD, just a compilation in writing. Meaning to say, only your university recognizes your work. The international world has not recognized your work. So you go Google Scholar, your name captured there. Internationally, you recognize. You don't need to go and tell people, hey, I'm a researcher. Your name is already there, and then they can measure how strong you are. You have the H index. H index measures the quality of your paper, how strong you are, how many citations, how many people have cited your paper. That's important. If your paper is really good, many people will cite your paper. They will cite your paper. If you have papers with 20 citations and more, that means your paper is good. And if you're lucky, you get 100 people citing your paper, 200 people citing your paper, 300. Means to say your paper is really worth. My PhD paper today, I got 300 citations. My PhD work, 300. You can see my PhD paper is 300 citations. As I said, we are all gearing towards the MIT, the little MIT in Malaysia. So we want you to also be there. Okay? You can see that my one paper, this is my PhD paper. The one paper has got 239 citations. Just one paper. 239 citations. The second paper is 112 citations. 112 citations means 112 papers, research papers has used my name. Okay? And here 239 papers have used my name. So this is how you measure. So we want you all also to come here like this. Then we talk about MIT. Otherwise we don't talk about MIT. Yeah? Okay, so as I say, we are a little MIT in Malaysia. Okay, so that's why we are very serious about this. And we organize workshops, we organize colloquium, because we want to train you not only to finish your PhD, but train you to become a researcher. Of course, out of the 10 of you, maybe 3 or 4 of you will become a researcher. Okay, and it will help you. And I've got some of my students who are already today not only researchers, they are making an earning out of the research. Today they are doing commercial research. They're using the format. Okay? So it's not something that's tough, it is doable. Okay? So selecting a topic and then the existing research. So that's where you go to Google Scholar, you search, and then you find it yourself and then look for something that is really beneficial. Then develop hypotheses and research questions and research objectives. Okay, you develop the hypothesis. This one, don't worry, I'll teach you. The day after tomorrow, I'll teach you how to develop the hypothesis. Okay, but research question later on, I'll take you through research objective and research question. And then determine the methodology, what type of method, and then collect data, and then result, and that's it. You're done with your result. Okay, you come up. Those are the 7 basic steps in research. Okay, while you're working on research. Now let us look at the first one. How do you look for your topic? How do you search a topic? The first thing is you can look at novel. Meaning to say, no, I'm not asking you to look at novel like storybooks. Huh? Something that has not been investigated. Okay? A topic that has not been investigated yet. Okay? It has to, when you say your PhD work is a novel, means something you are going to inject. You're going to put the originality into the work. Okay, 100% original. You're going to come in. That is novelty. Okay, I'm not talking novel, novelty. I'm talking something original you're going to put in. Okay, it can be either a variable that you're connecting in, or it can be even a difference in the way you collect data, you gather data. Different. This guy has done a qualitative, now you want to do a quantitative. Yeah? Originality is that. So that is one way of looking at a topic. The second one is by looking at something that interests you. You're working in the division of supply chain. So that interests you. Okay, and then you want to start from there. Okay. For me, I chose my topic when I was doing my PhD based on my idea. Okay. During the time I was working in Intel technology, and I was responsible for the logistics and the supply chain. So when I had my discussion, every time I go in for meeting with the US guys, and every time they talk about supply chain, and so on. So that really sparks my mind, and I was looking for materials, books, texts. I couldn't get any books in the market dealing with supply chain. So then I told myself, why don't I look at this? Why don't I start a PhD on this and try to research something that can benefit, not only the company but the industry. So something that interests me, I look for it. Okay. So depending. So whether you want to look at something that's novelty or something that interests you. Okay? Normally that something that interests you is good because you will stay motivated with that. You will keep motivated. Some other there's a push factor for you. Because your interest will push yourself to go for it. So it's good that if you can choose something that's really interesting. The other one is relevant. You can choose a topic based on the relevancy. You need to say something that is timely, that is current need by the market, current need by the industry, or current need by the society. Whether the society, the market, or the sector, the industry is looking for it. So it is relevant today in 2016 to talk about it. So then we want to investigate, get into it, looking at the practical value of getting it out. Okay? So that is the third option, how you look for a topic. The next one is feasible. Sometimes it's interesting, you say, I want to get a research, of changing, all the river water, polluted river water, I want to convert it to become clean water and can be consumable and so on. It is interesting, but sometimes it is not feasible. When I say it's not feasible, means maybe you're constrained with time, maybe you're constrained with money, or maybe you don't have the expertise, right? So in doing a topic, you also need to look at something that is feasible, that is doable. Okay? And the next one is researchable. You don't want to get into a trap where you say you choose a topic and then finally you end up, in something is not researchable. But for example, the power of meditation. It is interesting. The power of meditation is interesting. But is it researchable? Can you go and ask each and everyone who are meditating, what is the power? Is it doable or not? It may not be doable for you. You may not be able to measure it. You may not be able to analyze it. You may not be able to quantify it. Okay? Although there are some measurable tools to quantify, certain things you cannot quantify. So researchability is also another factor that you need to consider while you're choosing your topic. Then the sixth one is ethical. Here you need to consider if your research is going to impact someone along the line, or some party, or some society. You say you want to research on the people who are staying in the jungle, the natives, and you say you are going to get, Photoshop, this and that, the lifestyle and all, and then you want to publish it. Do you think it's possible? It may be possible, but as far as ethical is concerned, it's not ethical. Yeah. That is their community, their lifestyle. Well, why you want to worry about it? Why you want to publish it? Right? So you need to make sure that it's also ethical for you. Okay? You cannot be taking information, data, when you want to publish, they say, oh, you cannot publish the data because it is protected data. Okay? Now, focusing on, just now I talked to you about a topic. Now, let's look at a problem. Focusing on the problem of a research, the problem is actually the heart of any research project that you work. Okay, the problem statement is the heart. So we need to say that's the most important area. When you work with a supervisor, I can take a bet with you easily. You will be working with a supervisor, changing and changing and changing and changing constantly on the problem. You spend a lot of time. Okay? Maybe 6 months, you will sit down and discussing up and down email, this and that. But don't get frustrated. Don't get frustrated. This is very, very common. Very common. Okay? Halfway after even 1 year working with a supervisor, then you find that you need to change the topic. Yes, it has happened. People working in PhD after 1 year, after 2 years, they change the topic. Okay? It happens. Okay, don't worry. But whatever you have done throughout the 1 year is not going to be a waste because you have gathered a lot of literature which can support you. Okay? So the problem statement is actually the heart of the research project. So without a focus on the problem, there is no research. You cannot conduct any research without focus. Okay? So in order for you to identify a research problem, the researcher needs to know what are the available sources of information you have. And today, your life is made very, very easy by looking into Google Scholar. I'll show you. You go to Google Scholar, you can get whatever you want. All the information are there readily available. You need not worry that. And don't trust Google. Don't trust Google. Trust Google Scholar. I'm repeating again. Don't come and show, oh, this URL says this. No, they are not authority, not acceptable. They are not acceptable. The best is Google Scholar. Make sure you get it from Google Scholar. Okay. The type of research problem that you are looking at, the descriptive, the one we talked just now in the morning, right? We talked about descriptive. We did talk about explorative. We talked about causal. Do you still remember? In the morning we discussed, yeah? So the descriptive type of research is what we call what is, and it suggests a survey research design. The descriptive type of research is always you're asking what is, you want to describe. Okay? Some example of descriptive type of research. What is the prevailing organization culture in a broadcast network? Okay? Media study, media people. What type of culture do they have in the organization for media people? So, the second example, what is the status of the professional satisfaction of a provincial radio journalist? Okay? Specifically, we are looking at the radio journalist. What is the type of professional satisfaction a journalist gets? What do they get satisfied? How do they get satisfied? A journalist. Only if they are able to produce good reports that are really needed by the society. Yeah? Not to cite the politician and not to cite favor one or two individuals, right? So this is what we are going to discuss. The third example is, what is the level of ethical awareness of newspaper which reporter, maybe in Manila, Metro Manila, what type of level of ethical awareness that we're looking at? When journalists report papers, right? What type of ethical awareness do they have? Do they take sides of politicians or do they be neutral? Now, if you are working on a relationship type of research, then you ask the question, what is the relationship? Okay, you ask, what is the relationship? Example, between one to another. Between motivation and company performance. Okay, motivation is one variable, company performance is another variable. So what is the relationship between motivation and company performance? Okay, and you connect them together and you call this as relationship study. Some of the examples of this type of study. There's a commitment to ethics among media practitioners Okay, depends on the education of their professional training, how the media guides, how they behave, how much of commitment do they have in terms of ethics. Does it depend on their background of their study? Yes or no? Is there a relationship between these two? The second example, has the number of students pursuing a degree in journalism being affected by the issue of slave journalism? Slave journalism killing slaves. Okay. When we find the most journalists that be murdered and so on. Do people still have interest to become a journalist? Do they sign up for becoming a degree, taking up a degree? Yes or no? So is there a relationship? Okay. The third one, how does the relationship between the mayor and the beat reporter affects the later? The mayor and the journalist. How does the relationship impact? Okay. So this is what we call as relationship type of study. Okay. You can look at many things, like for example, healthcare awareness. What is the relationship between the healthcare awareness and the health status in a country or in a town? You can look at it. Or you can look at the relationship between organizational culture and company performance. What type of culture is important? Okay, under the Hofstede's dimensions of culture, organizational culture. What type of culture really supports the organizational commitment? The third area that you can focus on research problem is difference research. So here you ask, what is the difference between, for example, in terms of groups, in terms of gender, in terms of ethnic, in terms of cultural differences. Is there a difference? Yes or no? Okay? Those examples, let's read the examples. Is there a significant difference in the number of UP journalism and broadcasting graduates who actually pursue a career in their field? Okay? Is there really difference between undergraduate and postgraduate journalism study? Or is there a difference between male and female studying for journalism? Okay. The second example, is there a difference between the work value of journalists who come from the state university, vice versa, the private school? The government studies, those who study degree in the government setting, those who study degree in the private, is there a difference? For example, PhD. Is there a difference between a student who comes with a PhD from a public university and a private university? Is there a difference? So if that is that, it is categorized under the differences type of study in. Okay. How do the male and female journalists compare their coverage of disaster? When there's a disaster, the male journalist and the female journalist, is there a difference? The way they cover the disaster? So that is the difference. Okay. Generally, there are two ways of starting a research problem. The first one is descriptive. The second one is in the form of question. Two ways of starting. Okay. Then you move on to the sub-problem. Okay. From the problem statement, then you move on to the sub-problem. This is where you define your objective, research objective. Now, in some schools, they say you don't need to have research objective. Some universities, they say you don't need to have research objective, you just have research question. But for us, we have a standard. That's it. Our standard is research problem statement, objective, then question. So you must have research objective. So you have to follow your school. Okay, in our school, we follow objective and question. Some schools, they say don't need to have objective. Okay, so if you read some books on research methodology books, some books will say you don't need objective. But for the purpose of this university, you have to have objective. Be clear of that, yeah? Okay, you should not be caught by surprises.
Like the types of research and questions. Mostly the examples are what? What about why questions? What is descriptive or exploratory question of why?
Why? Okay, why is not a relationship question, and why is normally an explorer. It's an explorer. What is descriptive? Okay. So I've taken you through roughly what you need to look at in identifying a problem statement. Okay, now look at the notes that I've given you now. These notes, the first page itself. Look at the first page. The problem question, read the problem statement question. Frequent and long delays may translate into much frustration among airline passengers, to switching behaviors, and to negative word-of-mouth communication. Okay? These feelings and behaviors eventually have negative effect on performance and profitability of the airline. Yeah, that is the problem. Okay? Try to understand the problem statement clearly. Yeah? Then move on to the next one. The purpose of this study, that is the research objective. The purpose of this study is the research objective. So you see two objectives there. The first objective, to identify the factors that influence passengers' waiting experience. Okay? So look at now the second objective, to investigate the possible impact of waiting on customer satisfaction. What is similar between these two objectives? Objective 1 and 2. They start with the same word, that is to. You notice that? So when you are writing a research objective, you make sure you start with the word. Research objective must start with the word to. Now, after that, you see the research question. Next column is the research question. What are the factors that affect the perceived waiting experience? The second research question is, what are the effective consequences of waiting? Yeah. So what is common between these two research questions? The word what. So now the formula is, when you are writing a research question, always start with what, why, how, does, is, and then end the sentence with a question mark. That becomes the research question. It's just a postcard. Okay. We'll go into detail of research question and research.
When we define the objectives for the research questions, question can mean what and why for most, depending on what that questions we are asking.
Yes. Okay. Because you just don't want to repeat the word what, you know. So sometimes you just put what, why, does, is, you know, these kind of words, you know, so that it doesn't sound what. But objective, you got no choice. You always have to use the word to. Okay. Now look at the next paragraph below that. Examples of research objective. Now, when you are writing a research objective, okay, in this topic of writing research objective and question, you cannot write stories. You must be straightforward. That's it. No time, no space for you to write stories. You want to write stories, you write it in literature review. But not here. This is very straightforward. So somebody writes a research objective for 5 pages, I'll say we can keep it. Research objectives are very sharp and straight. That's it. No direct, no storytelling. So in order to start your research objective, you always must have the main objective first. You start with the main objective. So look at the example. I've given you the example. The main objective of this research is to identify factors influencing the intention of using internet banking. So you must have main objective. For the main objective, you don't start with the word to. The main objective, do not start with the word to. Instead of that, you can just you can write the main objective of this study or this work or this research is to identify, is to understand, is to investigate, is to what do you call surface, is to explore, something like that, an action. Okay, so that's the first sentence you give. After the first sentence, you follow the second sentence. You start with, thus it hopes to achieve the following objectives. You see the second word? You have a main objective, and then you have the sub-objectives. For the sub-objective, you start the second sentence by using the word, thus it hopes to achieve the following. So you can use exactly the same way of writing for all the PhD work. No one will say, oh, this is copy exact, this is plagiarism. No such thing. This is standard. Standard. Any PhD work, they will have this. This is standard. So no one will come and say, oh, this is copy already. No such thing. Don't worry. They're very direct, like what I don't know if you can say. Very direct. That's it. Okay? Now, for PhD, how many objectives do I need to have? 5. Minimum 5. Minimum 5. Yes. For masters, 3 is 5. But PhD, you please have a minimum 5 objectives. I will justify. Yeah. Maximum, just don't go beyond 7. Don't go and ask. Don't go and ask for a suicidal. Why? Because every objective must be answered in your chapter 5. In your chapter 5, you must answer every objective, whether you achieve or not. Can you imagine if you have 10 objectives? Do you think you can write all? No. My advice to you, limit your objectives from 5 to 7. That's it. Don't go beyond 7. Okay? Later part, when you are a researcher, you want to have 10, 15 objectives, go with it. But now, just start with 5. The next rule in writing objective is, if you have 5 objectives, you must have 5 questions. If you have 6 objectives, you must have 6 questions. If you have 7 objectives, you must have 7 corresponding. Research objective 1 must correspond to research question 1. Research objective 2 must correspond to research question. That's how it works. Okay. Example, to investigate the factors that influence employee behavior. To investigate factors influencing employee behavior. The question will be, what are the factors that influence employee behavior? See that? So they must correspond. Later part we will polish them. Okay, don't worry about it. We will polish that later part. But just basically, you need to understand when you're writing research objectives, you must have the main objective and the specific objective. For PhD recommendation, specific objective, try to limit yourself to 5, 6. That's it. Don't go beyond 7. 7 is okay. That's the max. Don't go beyond that. Why? Because every objective has to be answered in your chapter. That's your last chapter. Can you imagine if you have 10 questions, research questions? It's going to be tough for you first. Okay? So limit that. Okay? And I've given you a sample here. How to structure the research objective. The sentence here. The first page itself you can read to find out. To find out, to study, to investigate, to establish, to determine, to understand. These are all the words that you can use. Okay? Please use this word. Okay? They are all action-oriented words. Okay? now we have talked about research problem statement, and we have also talked about research objective. So I want you to have your own group discussion to draft a research problem. Okay? For you, you look at the last page. There is one example I've given you on a research problem statement. The second last page. Yeah. Organizational effectiveness. Please look at it. Organizational effectiveness. That one paragraph gives you the way how you need to write your problem statement. Okay? Yeah, did you? So have it in your group discussion. As I said just now, you only identify a topic, right? Discuss in your group about the topic and try to come up with this statement. And please Google Scholar Go. I hope you all have your laptop or something like that, your or palm tab or laptop to do the search. So you have to contact your group. Maybe you want to join your group, there are only two of them. Yeah. Which data you can join. I want you to go to Google Scholar, the topic that you choose just now, right? Go to Google Scholar, key in the topic, search, and then look for some of the papers there, and take out from the papers, the abstract will be given in Google Scholar. Take out the abstract, and then from there, try to structure your problem statement. Okay? You don't have laptop? Yeah, maybe. Google Scholar and then get more detail of your all of them are using it, so it doesn't very slow. All of them are using it.
This is great.
Yes. Yes, yes. That's why I want you all to use Google Scholar. Assuming that Google Scholar is now a for you. And in your topic, okay, just search.
Partially square. Pushing the linear
If you're only looking one particular article, then like that. Yes. Cannot be just one people. You have to cite. Yeah. You just make them. So I think your choose the topic is not right. You got a topic. So once you write your prompt statement, then go write your search objectives. The main objective and the sub objective. Maybe just three objectives for the whole thing. Yep. Your problem is just look on the topic and say your problem is. So how to make your problem strong by getting the features or the support your problem. Like a few citations from the Google Scholar to say that it's the real problem. Later, as invested,
Please, there are 7 students. We need them to take photos for the back part. I have your name. Share your screen. They can take photos. On. Sometimes you're not in a session with the always there. If you are ready, you can go that room. You can record.
And then look at the lecturer. What are the real symptoms? What are the facts? We have to investigate with this.
How
Because the word effect is better, not the effect. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is better. Yeah. So this you can put it under your objective. The budgeting process model you want to give, so that can come under this. So this will be your topic, the effect of budgeting process management and performance model. Very good. No, you can do two ways. One, you can take a little bit with the partially. Another one is you can cite a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's possible. Okay, you got that? Then I hear from what you want to say. Can we hear from you? Anyone? You want to volunteer? Okay, you are ready now. Okay, the rest of you please pay attention. Yeah.
Because we have more people from Vietnam so we decided to draw up the topic from Vietnam.
Okay.
So and use like the effectiveness of educational management on the sustenance of quality education in Vietnam.
Okay.
So the program statement goes like this. The educational system in Vietnam has suffered a setback, thereby derailing the entire academic system in Vietnam. The purpose of the study is to essentially study the existing system and come up with a viable and a sustainable path to pasteurize in real world. Okay. So now we come up with 3 objectives. One is to determine the challenges of the failed system.
Okay.
2 is to measure the level of dilapidation in the system. And 3 is to recommend a new set of sustainable approaches to a more viable and effective educational management system.
Okay. My feedback. Okay. Your main objective. What is your main objective of the study?
The main objective of the study should be it is actually contained in the program statement.
So how can you structure that?
Okay, we have a problem here, and that falls under gap from the program statement which you right here. And because the system was actually designed to go in a certain path, but because of some certain level of probably management, not having competent hands, it actually went a wrong path.
Okay.
So bringing it back is what the objective of the study is all about.
Right. You agree? So whatever you say in your problem statement, you just need to firm it up with supporting citation. Then you're okay, fine. I'm okay with the problem statement. Now what I'm saying is, what is your main objective? What do you want to achieve? The main one.
The main objective of the study is actually to, fast track, to bring about sustainable level of approaches, a new set of goals or objectives, new set of system that we put in place to actually bring back the educational system to what it was actually designed.
You know, right?
No, I think there's discussion on this one, but there was a still going on the main objective. training.
Ah,
There was one of this agreement
okay.
because we wanted to put to study the barriers and factors which are causing for affecting the high quality education. That we wanted to come as an opportunity. Just we wanted to find the pathways or approaches to first one to understand the barriers for this.
Okay. I, okay. What was the disagreement that you all had on while you were discussing on the main? What was that? You don't mind to share?
So I think it was like first part we wanted to put as as a headline objective,
Uh-huh.
but there was discussion that this what we are saying is the study the causes of degrading or derailing the high quality education in Vietnam. There was this can come up as a subjective.
Okay. So if you look at the sample that I've given you here, right? So you have to start with putting up the word, the main objective or the main purpose of the research, right? So your problem statement, I'm fully okay with your problem statement. And your sub-objective, specific objective, okay, good. But your main objective, you are missing. That main objective must be related back to your topic. Okay? When you have a topic, you are trying to highlight some keywords in your topic, right? Some keywords. So your main objective must be relating back to the topic. Like in your case, the education system, the quality of education system, right? So the main purpose of this study is to identify the current level of education, quality education system. Something like that, you know. That should be a main one. You say that currently the education system, you know, is not robust enough. But how do you know it's robust? Yes or not? Only when you collect data, then you know whether it's really robust. So that should be your main objective. Yeah, to investigate what is the current level of quality assurance or the quality of teaching and learning and so on. So you must be able to first prove that first. You must be able to prove it. Okay?
Sorry, sir. I'm thinking those things really apply to what you just said now. Like the second objective, the sort of objective, to measure the level of the application.
Yeah. That you move it up
So higher level.
to a higher level. First, only when you know that this is the current level, assuming you expect 80%. When you measure, you collect data, you see 60%. Okay? So then it's a real problem. It's a deviation, right? Then you go to the next level. What would be the right strategies to be in place? Or what are the benchmarks to be, adopted? Right? And then finally, you want to propose a model or a framework.
That is the third objective.
Yeah, that is the last objective. Normally, last objective will be a proposal. You're giving a model, and that will be your contribution to your research. Okay? Let's hear from this team over here. This team here. No worries, huh? Just share what you have done, what you have discussed. Don't worry whether perfect or not. No one is perfect. Just go in. Yeah. Okay.
However, the infrastructure in Vietnam is always the same. No more money or incentive policy from the COVID or the Vietnamese government. Infrastructure Vietnam is only good. Therefore, there are not many big investors invest big project in Vietnam and also so the total policies on macro level develop and people determine some lesson learned from the successful technical development in other countries like China or something like that. Determine the weakest and strongest lines to work of the current state of Vietnam and see the gap. And we see how we can use Vietnam and also in international research techniques.
Okay. So your topic is your area of research is interesting, you know, to identify. Because you said there isn't much what do you call in the recent year, the last 5 years, there isn't much investors coming in to open up business or to put up their plans or investment in Vietnam. Okay, as compared to other countries, we find that it's not that effective. Okay, so you want to identify what are the things that will, you know, attract investors to come in Vietnam. That's interesting. What you need to do is for this kind of research, you need to have data to support. You need to have data to support. Maybe the government publication, you have your economic report from the government, your proceeding books, report to the government.
I work from the government, so I have management information.
Fantastic.
And that's kind of the kind of all the
So that will really help you. That will help you. And your purpose of the study is to do a benchmark or compared to other countries, how they are able to attract more investors, right? So that will help you. Okay. So the main purpose of the study is to investigate factors that attract industry investors, okay, into Ho Chi Minh City or into Vietnam. So that could be a main one. Then you identify your specific objective. You go one by one. What's the current level of investment that's happening in the country? You know, I don't know, in terms of millions or trillions or whatever. What is the current? And then you want to plot a graph and show the last 5 years, how is the trend? Is it trend is trending upwards or downwards or status quo? Okay? As compared to your economic development, your GDP, how is the GDP as compared to your investment? Are they parallelly growing or are they in the opposite direction? That will be your specific objective. Okay, that's your
it's a topic of
all right, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so the topic that we've got is factors affecting lecturers, commitment, and public and non-public university in Ho Chi Minh City. So it's a difference research. Like compare the commitment.
Lecturers' commitment.
Correct.
Okay.
So the main the problem statement is there is the problem description is there is lack of commitment from lecturers in public university.
Okay. Okay, fine. If you're putting something as a problem statement, you must have some data to put that. You must have some data, some citation, somewhere to support. Otherwise, people will be thinking that you're plucking just from the sky. Well, not acceptable. So, it's okay. For the class purpose, it's okay. It's okay. Because you don't have the resources here with you. For the purpose of class, it's okay. But later on, when you want to start writing, you need to get the data. Okay? All right. Yeah.
So the main objective is to understand the difference between the commitment level of lecturers who come from public university versus the non-public university.
That's the main objective. I would suggest that the main objective is to gauge the level of commitment, okay, among the university lecturers, okay, in the academic environment of Ho Chi Minh or in Vietnam. Okay. Then specifically, when I go down specifically, I will look at the private and the public to make a different type of differential research. This morning we discussed, right? To study the difference, right? Then I'll go into specific.
So they usually have to put up policies about training, recruitment, career path.
Okay, fine. That is specific objective.
objective.
Like the group there to model. The last objective is to model. So here is to determine the the specific actions, right?
And basically, to also to support
Why means what? You see like
lecturers,
this? Yeah.
yeah. University lecturers, and to create a good working environment and personal development.
Why do you need to create a working environment when you find commitment is not good? You're already coming into an answer here. Be careful. In research objective, you should not be putting answers. You should not be giving answers. Because you have not investigated yet. How do you know? You cannot come up with answers in objective. Okay? So that is not acceptable. That is like you're giving an answer. So because you're still at the stage of uncertainty. You're not too sure. But you want to achieve this. But you don't know how, right? So you shouldn't be giving solutions here. Okay? Alright? Now, the last group. Let's hear from you. Oh, you want to? Yeah, sure, come. Come. In future, our classroom, every table you will have one table. So that you can right now, no, they are slowly building this up. Okay? In future, you have it. Come, don't worry, come. You have the table? Okay, come. Oh. No, you don't have the cable. Okay, you read it. You please read it. Yeah, someone.
Okay, the two I introduced our topic about the online shopping failure, the back to the personal satisfaction, the evidence from Vietnam. About the problem statement, cashing manufacturer, particularly, and complicated technical process. Three of among many barriers in online shopping, and they cause lots of complaints around not only the service, but also the long shipping and the product, the poor product quality, and lead to switching or shopping online. This study attempts to investigate the impact of online service barrier on customer satisfaction based on the following factors such as payment barrier, complaint recovery, delivery process, product quality, and schedule process. About the research objectives, the main objectives of this research is to identify the factors attached to the customer satisfaction on the online shopping. First, it helps to achieve the following objectives. First of all, to measure the level of online shopping failure towards the customer satisfaction. Second one, to identify the barrier of online shopping attached to customer experience. To investigate the reason for such failure. And the last but not least, to propose the model to improve the satisfaction of online shopping personnel to minimizing the circumstances of failure.
Okay. So, please answer. So, talking about the level of online shopping, the awareness, and what are the barriers. Okay, that's good. I saw your paper there. You got some citations. If you have citations, it's far more better. Okay. Now let's look at this example here. Please look at this example here. Read this example. How step by step how to write a research problem statement. Okay. Read that first, then after that I'll take you through. You don't have it there with you. No, don't search in the notes. You don't have it. Yeah. So later on you will get it. This is the additional thing that I just put it up on the screen for you. Okay, let me read through. Overfill has been a serious problem facing our city waste. Overfill, dumping them for the last decade, 10 years. Find that it's a serious problem. By some estimation, our city dumps on average 30% above capacity, more than what they can consume. The dumping area can consume 30% more than that. An unsanitary, unsafe, and unwise position, okay, for our city to be in. So this is unsafe, it's unwise, and in terms of hygiene, those are not good. Several methods have been proposed in order to combat this, to fight this, to curb this problem. Several methods have been put into place. Perhaps the most popular of these is the simplest, building two new. A very easy solution for this is to build new plant, right? But that is not going to solve the problem. Okay? Others have proposed stronger recycling campaigns and larger paper bag waste disposal costs as a way to lessen the potential damage of our trash situation. There are some problems and then there are some solutions given to it. Okay? But look at this. I'm talking about DCT. Putrajaya is close to drowning in trash. Even though with all these solutions, yet it is going to be worse. It is going to be worse. Action is needed in our city to remain the clean, safe place to live, as it has been always. So this is how you need to bring the problem statement to highlight that. Hey, so this is an exploration. This is not a descriptive study. This is not a causal relationship, but this is an exploration for a solution. There are a couple of solutions given here, the second paragraph here, but still they are insufficient. Okay? So this is how you need to bring the writing of problem statement. Now look at the next page. I give you step by step in writing a problem statement. Okay? Read this first. The first, I'm going to take roughly 1 page to write the problem statement. So the first sentence I start off for the 1 page is, the Ministry of Youth is dedicated to allocating enterprise development fund. The government is giving some funds to both the youth and women. These funds are made available in order to start entrepreneurial venture that create, expand employment, create more jobs. Okay? And then I need to quote some statistics here. Yeah? I need to quote. Maybe the government has spent about $100 million for the last 2 years or last 6 months. So I create some statistical quote here. This is the first paragraph. Second paragraph, I continue. The same topic, I'm just continuing second paragraph now. One of the main focus of the ministry is consistency. The government has been pumping money for entrepreneurship. They encourage the youth to participate. They spend so much money. Now, I'm slowly putting in the problem into it. What am I saying? I'm saying one of the main focus of the ministry is consistency. That means allocations of funds of consistently getting it right, or giving the funds or giving the grants consistently correct, reliable. So that is the challenge. Unfortunately, consistency is in allocating funds to the next generation of recipient requires prior knowledge of previous allocation and established practice. You need to say, giving consistently fund, you must have a policy for that. Established, okay, practice here equals to policy, the right policy. The current continuous disbursement, the current way of giving the funds for entrepreneurial method does not allow for adequate analysis. The current way of giving the funds for entrepreneurial projects is not really able to measure. They are not able to measure or analyze. Okay? Analysis of previous disbursement before a current disbursement is done. Normally, you need to make what impact as you got from the last year's money, then you make proposal for this year. So they are not able to do the analysis. Now look at statement 3. Continuing with this current disbursement method prevents consistency and causes decision to become grossly political. If they still continue to give this way the funds, then it becomes very political. And consistency is not there. That means the right practice is not there. Okay. In which it inhibits the achievement of goals of the fund. And because of this, the government is not able to achieve its goal. Developing a more informed disbursement system. Take note, developing a more informed disbursement system. So slowly I'm bringing in, we need to have a system of how to allocate the funds. Okay? Could help better implement the consistency focus of the ministry, and at the same time help ministry better monitor and evaluate its funds. If they have a good policy, they have a good system, then they will find consistency, and also they'll be able to analyze and evaluate the effectiveness. The last paragraph in my problem statement, the last paragraph, these proposed research, take note of the words, this research proposed aspires to explore. So this research aspires to explore, give an interest to explore. So take note of the words, the choice of word that you're supposed to use. Yeah. These proposed research aspire to explore options, not one, but options, 1, 2, or more. Option A, option B, and so on. For a new funds disbursement system. Okay, you want to have a new system that would focus on consistency. Okay, to do this, the researcher will carry out a full stakeholder analysis and use it to propose an appropriate policy. You see that? This is how you need to write a problem statement. As I told you just now, no point writing 5-6 pages problem statement. Until the end, I don't read the problem statement. You are still talking slowly, again, again. Talking about funds are not really channeled, funds are not channeled properly, funds are not measured. No point talking again and again. You must have a proper way. First paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph, and fourth paragraph, and put it there. So if you can write a problem statement within 2 pages, good enough for a PhD. Students get excited, they write 5-10 pages, and until the last page I need to search, I still cannot find the problem statement. Because they're still going around and around and around. So your problem statement, when you write the last paragraph in the problem statement, you must be able to capture this. Something like this. Therefore, it is, a critical need. Instead of using the word aspires to explore, I can just use the word. Therefore, there is a critical need to analyze the level of consistency in allocation of entrepreneurial fund by the minister and to design a policy that is most appropriate. That should be how the last sentence behind it in the problem statement. Okay? For the class purpose is fine, but again tomorrow you will again work on it. Because tomorrow when I talk about literature review, and that's where I'm going to add in how you're going to put in citation and references. for your problem statement. How you bring in citation reference for a problem statement. Then that's where you learn to polish up your problem. Okay? So far, any question? You have any question on problem statement? Okay, yeah.
Just here, you use the word stakeholder analysis. With that in mind, food is relative.
Yeah.
Okay. So would it be just sufficient to carry out stakeholder analysis of food?
Yeah, you can put. But stakeholders, mostly when you talk about stakeholders in management, it's very straightforward. Investors are stakeholders, your customers are stakeholders, your suppliers are stakeholders, regulatory bodies are stakeholders, professional bodies who govern your process are stakeholders, and community that you serve, depending on the project you're working on. Those are stakeholders.
Would be your cover.
People need to want to cover stakeholder analysis. Okay? Not many stakeholders. The upstream and downstream in the supply chain are your stakeholders, plus the regulatory body. Yeah. If you have,
For any project, OJPC has 6, 7 years.
yeah, that's all. Yeah, 5 to 6 stakeholders. Okay, now I'm moving on to the next topic. Defining key terms. This is another component in your chapter 1. Okay, but some other students didn't need this component. Huh? Now, what is this? Defining key terms. What is defining key terms? Defining key terms means definition of some key terminologies that you're using in your research. Why do I need to give definition? Everybody knows about the definition. Yes, everyone knows the definition of the words. But in your study, what is the definition? What is your understanding of that particular word? Yeah. So that's why you need to have the key definition of terms. Any research paper, you will find key definition. Okay, definition of key terms. Yeah?
Grocery.
Yes. It's like grocery. Yeah, grocery. Yeah. Now, how many words do I need to choose as key terms? Mainly, you get the key terms from your research topic. The topic itself, that's why you get the key terms. The best is just get 4 to 5. Don't go beyond that. Just get 4 to 5. Enough. Okay? When you're talking about these key terms, there are 2 things that you need to give the definition. One is from reliable source. That's called conceptual definition. Conceptual definition because to from reliable source, like for example, dictionary, wiki, blah blah blah. What they say about the word, you capture exactly that and put it there. That's called conceptual definition. The other one is operational definition. Operational definition means in your study, what is the definition for you? When you say small and medium enterprise, what is the definition for you? Your conceptual definition may be, they say, anyone having 250 employees in a firm are considered MNC. Anyone below 250 employees are considered small and medium enterprises. But what is your definition? You may want to say, I'm not going to count the number of employees, but I'm going to count the turnover of the company. Maybe a turnover of 10 million or below is small and medium enterprise. See that? So this is where it helps you in your research. Okay? Motivation. By theory, what is the definition of motivation? Motivation means people who have the influence to move forward for positive things and so on. You want to give some definition by the dictionary. But in your study, what is the definition of motivation? For staff, your topic is about employee. So what is the employee motivation in your own understanding? If they stay back after 5 p.m. and still continue to do job, is that motivation what you mean? So you need to give the definition. So you need to have 2 definitions. One is the operational definition, the other one is conceptual definition. Operational definition is your definition. Do not cite any references for operational definition. It is yours. Don't give any citation. Yeah? Operational definition got no citation, huh? It's your definition. Okay? Now, the next one is variables in research. Variables in research. Yeah. What are variables? By the word itself, variables means varies. It varies, going up and down in value. Yeah, goes up and down in value. That's what is called variable. You should be able to measure that. Now in research, you have variables. For example, commitment. Yeah, you can give a commitment of out of 5 scales, you give 4. He gives a 5 upon 5. He gives a 3 upon 5. So commitment is a variable. Motivation is a variable. Leadership style is a variable. So variables means things that you can measure. In research, you have many types of variables. And in PhD, you need to understand all the variables. In masters, it's okay to escape. During your masters, you can escape and say, I don't need to read all the variables. I just need 2 variables enough. But in PhD, no choice. You have to understand all the variables. Whether you apply or not, secondary. But you must have good understanding of the variables. Now I'm going to introduce to you the variables. Okay? How it works. Right? Let's look at it. The independent variables. What is an independent variable? The word independent itself reflects that it stands by itself. For example, my salary is independent. My wife's salary is independent. What she gets paid is based on her experience and her qualification. What I'm paid is based on my experience and my qualification. So, independent. Salary is independent. Yeah? So, similarly, you have many things which are independent. For example, even your motivation level of person A and person B, they are independent. Yeah? And certain variables like commitment are independent. Organizational loyalty, loyal to an organization. You can be working in the company for 20 years. You can be working in a company for 5 years. Same company, 25 years. Can I say just because you're working for 20 years, you're loyal, and he's 5 years less loyal? Very difficult. Maybe he's working 20 years because he got no choice. There's no other job, right? You understand that? I'm just giving an example, not you, okay? So, again, so this is what we call as variables. Okay? So, independent variable. Now, let's look at the next one, which is called dependent variable. What is a dependent variable? Dependent variable refers to a variable that is depending on something else. Okay? When something else changes, then this changes. Something else never changes, this will never change. A leader in organization who is very autocratic leader. Then you find employees, are they motivated to work? Yes or not? With an autocratic leader. Another organization has got a participating leader. Now, employee motivation. Yeah? So the employee motivation depends on the leadership style, whether autocratic or participating. So these employees depend on this. So we call dependent variable. To make your understanding better, I give you an example based on the example that I quoted just now. This will make you understand things easier. The father's salary and mother's salary. Okay? So normally the father's salary is more than the mother's salary. Am I right? Oh, this is discrimination.
Discrimination.
Discrimination. Not really, yeah? But for example, since gender, men are more, so we take pride. Okay, maybe the father's salary is 5K USD. The mom's salary, how much, the ladies? Wow. Okay, give them the privilege, 7K. Not so high, 7K. Now, the mother's salary is independent, the father's salary is independent. But how much pocket money, okay, how much pocket money this child takes to school? It depends on the father's money and the mother's money. Collectively, they decide. They say, okay, we give you every day $5 to school. Okay? So collectively, the child gets $5 to school. Yeah? So the child's salary, the child's pocket money is depending on the father's salary and also depending on the mother's salary. So this is called dependent variable. And this is called independent variable. Independent variable. You see that? Example for you. I just put an example, easy example. But the connection between the connection between the father and mother, nothing to do with the father. They are independent. Huh? So the mother will spend her money by herself, the father spends the money by himself. Okay. Huh? Okay, but then there is another factor that comes in. There's another factor that comes in. The grandfather is a pensioner. The grandfather is a pensioner. And the grandfather got money. The grandfather sees the granddaughter taking $5 to the school every day. The grandfather says, oh, pity my granddaughter. I need to give a little bit more. So, both the parents, they give the money to the grandfather and ask the grandfather to pass it to the child. So what the grandfather does is, he plus another $2. Yeah? And then pass it to the child. So what is happening here? There is another variable that is coming in. There is another variable that is coming in. And this variable is called intervening. Intervening variable. Or you call it as mediating. Like mediator. Mediator. Argument between both of you. I come in between and become as a mediator, right? So mediating variable. Okay? So I've introduced you 3 types of variable. Now I want to introduce one more variable. The father's income, the mother's income, the child's income. And then the grandfather coming in with the pension money. Now, again, the mother's income and the father's income, before the money goes to the grandfather, there is another one more factor that can influence is how much of financial burden the parents have. If the parents have got so much of financial burden, you need to pay the housing loan, car loan, this loan, that loan, so much of burden, okay? Financial burden. Financial burden. If the financial burden is high, then these $5 will go down. If the financial burden is less, it might even increase from 5 to 6. You see that? So, these financial burden you call as they can go up and go down. So, when a situation can go up in terms of value, can go down in terms of value, you call this as moderating. Yes, excellent. Moderating. You see that? So now I've introduced to you 4 types of variables. Okay? I've given 4 types of variable for you. Independent variable, dependent variable, mediating variable or intervening variable, and the last one is moderating. Now, for a PhD, how many variables do I need to have for a PhD? Let's start with a master's. For a master's project, you have to have independent and dependent variable. Good enough. Good enough. But for a PhD, you must have independent, you must have dependent, minimum, either this or this. Minimum. 1. And if you can have moderating and intervening together, very good. Very good. Yes, please. Intervening, moderating. Very good. I repeat, for a master's, you just need dependent, enough. Done. For a PhD, you must have independent, dependent, minimum, either moderating or intervening. Minimum. It will be good if you have independent, dependent, moderating, and intervening. That means 4 variables. Very good. Your work is good. Okay? Any question on this?
Variables also will depend on what kind of technology or
What subject matter you are investigating? Yeah. Subject matter. But don't worry, even if your subject matter is not fully researched, not much information available, you can always use demography to be your variable. Like I can just put there as a moderator age. Yeah. And I can cover that as a moderating variable. See that? But what I'm saying is at the PhD level, you need to have sufficient variables. Now, this whole thing here, we call this as the theoretical framework. We call it as theoretical framework. And in your PhD, this is your vertebral column, your backbone. Yeah, this is the backbone of your study. So we call it as theoretical framework of the backbone of your study. Without this, your study doesn't stand. You have this, your study is strong. Okay? So you must have this. You cannot go without this. You must have this. Right? Any questions so far? I hope you have not learned so much. Still intact. Yeah. Okay? There is a difference between theoretical and conceptual framework. Conceptual framework, you put a concept and then you need not investigate or you need not do a empirical study. That is the theoretical framework you are going to pursue on an investigation. Like for example, if I'm writing a paper, a research paper, and I'm going to publish in the international journal, it's just my concept. That is conceptual framework. I'm not going to investigate, it's just my concept. Yeah? But if I'm going to investigate, I'm going to collect data, empirical, analyze, that is theoretical. Which is the correct way to do it. Okay. Okay. You can only come up with this framework after you are done with your literature review. That is chapter 2. You must search everything, right? After searching everything, then you finalize, you put the framework. So there Okay, so normally what you do is once you finish your chapter 2, towards the end of the chapter 2, you put the framework. Okay, and then when you're writing a chapter 3, you put back the framework again, but this time you have a hypothesis on the framework. So that's how you do it. Okay, and chapter 1 you don't put frameworks, but for the discussion purpose you can bring in some theories into it, chapter 1. Okay? But you don't put your theories of framework. No worries, all your supervisors have been trained. All supervisors have been trained, and when they supervise your project, they know they will guide you through. If you make mistake, they will guide you through the process and they polish up you. We are very consistent. All those appointed as professor by this university are going through training. So no worries, they are very consistent in the way they do. Any questions so far? No? Okay. No question, then we will break for the day. We'll stop here. But then you got a homework to do. You got a homework to do. That is tomorrow when you come in, you have to firm up your topic. You have to firm up a topic, okay? Of your interest, as I said, a topic can be something that of your interest, something that you find that is of novelty, something that you find that is of relevance today, or something that you find that can be explored. Okay, and then try to get a reason why do you think this is a problem statement that you want to test your research statement. Okay, then when you come in tomorrow, for those of you who have got your laptop, please bring your laptop. It will help you. It will help you because I want you to quickly get hands-on. I don't want you to keep writing, and you're not hands-on. You need to be hands-on. Okay? So I'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning. Same place. Yeah, these 4 pages, 5 pages, I will give you. Don't worry about the topic. The topic that you're going to bring tomorrow need not necessarily be your PhD topic, but it's for the class discussion. Yeah? Don't worry, you can keep changing your topic. Individual. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, I'll give you. Yeah, I'll give you. The whole class. There's 5 pages. No, I'll give you. I'll give you. So you want me to support your project? What's the topic? How are you? Seeing you for the second time?
Yes.
Yeah. So when did you touch down? Hey, morning.
No, I arrived on Friday last week.
Oh, eh?
I attend the competition of the AI.
Asia University.
Yeah. I think the same time you have
He also had the
yeah, the same
convocation.
time.
Yes.
So
Sunday.
I'm against for last competition
Oh,
more than 3,000 students.
okay.
Yeah. Because I'm a professor at
Okay. Partnership with them. Yeah. Asia University.
This morning I just been in the meeting with the president.
Okay. Ansari?
Yeah.
Ansari?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't need Ansari. Okay, gentlemen. You too. Take care. Okay, take care. Yes, sir? So you got homework to do? Less time is family, right? Make full use of the day, you know.
Thank you all, teacher.
Okay, yep. Good. Thanks. I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you all have your topic tomorrow for discussion. Okay, right. Okay.
So,
Dr. Pan was just sharing with me that you planning to work with Dr. Pan and then support us. Yeah. So he's our official representative for university. He has got an office here. He has got an office here. So you can talk to him and share with me your thoughts. Yeah, how you want to go. We welcome you. seriously. We are growing and join us in the growth. You guys grow